Okay, bye. So I thought I would bestow upon you the visual of what I look like when I wake up in the morning, because this is it. And you guys are always like, oh my gosh, Kate, how are you looking so good in quarantine? You always look so gorgeous. What the hell? Do I? Do I though? Is that how I look? Thank you, but no, this is, you just remember this moment anytime that pops in your head. These are my Joe Exotic roots. I mean, was I lying? Today I'm drinking one of my favorite Sauvignon Blancs. I actually discovered this last year when I was on the ship, and it was like the only delicious white wine that they had. I felt like I really lucked out because it's actually an incredible white wine. This is a 2019 Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough, New Zealand. Oh my gosh, I never noticed this. There's a little snowflake at the bottom of the bottle, and on the back it says, when the snowflake turns blue, I'm chilled just right and ready to drink. Cute. Okay guys, so today I'm doing a video that is all about my favorite inexpensive makeup products. Before we get down to business, I thought this would be an excellent moment to show you how I tie a head wrap, because so many of you guys have asked me where I get my head wraps, how I go about putting them on my head. So here we go, we're doing it. So I have a couple different head wraps here. These are the knot wraps from Lush. This is my favorite place to get head wraps from. And I always make sure that the fabric has a little bit of cottony sort of roughness to it. I can't do the silk head wraps because they just slip right out of my hair. I'm not gonna lie, it also helps if your hair has like some texture. So if you're a person who has fine hair like I do, like kind of having it messed up like this and having a bunch of product in it actually helps because it gives the scarf something to stick to. This is one of the first head wraps I ever owned. I've had this for over a decade. And this is how I discovered the whole Lush knot wrap phenomenon for head wraps. I make it into a triangle like so. Basically just fold it over itself like that, right? On one side. You just do it until you get to a width that you think is best for your hair. Wrap it like so. And I tie it to make sure that it's, you know, it's pretty tight. You don't want it to be uncomfortable like you're getting a headache, but you want it to stay in place, right? The key about head wraps is that it's a process. You know what I mean? It's not gonna look perfect the minute you tie it. You have to kind of play with it and zhuzh it just the way you like it and make it cute. It's a process. So usually I'll take like the little bunny ears that are left over and I'll just tuck them in wherever I want. You just fold and tuck and all that business until it looks the way you want it. And you know, you kind of have to play with your hair too to make sure it sets well inside the head wrap. Yeah, and see how this little side, like the underside is showing? I always try to like tuck it in and zhuzh it so that all the pretty designs are showing. And that's pretty much how it's done. Now I'm going to use a little bit bigger head wrap because I'm gonna show you what it's like when you have a little bit more fabric to work with than this. So the next question is probably, well, how can I tell what fabric the knot wrap is made out of? Well, that's actually a little bit tough. Basically with each knot wrap, I'll like enlarge the picture and like just get in there and try to see if it's like a silky texture or a cottony texture. You can tell what it's made out of because it doesn't always say on their website, which I find a little odd, but tie it. And see, you have these fabulous bunny ears that have a little bit more fabric to play with. So I knot it like that, and then I expose the printed part. And I just tuck and kind of have fun with it. Okay, so that's how you tie a head wrap. It's actually super duper simple, and it saves me so much time and energy because when I don't love my hair, I just throw one of these on. The main thing is you really can make a head wrap out of anything. You can take an old scarf that's maybe too big, you can cut it down to a size that makes sense for you. There's really no rules when it comes to head wraps. It's something I kind of just taught myself in college, and I've kind of never stopped. Other thing I want to quickly mention is if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button, because I don't know if you guys know, but that shit really matters. It really, really makes a difference. Also want to let you guys know that there is indeed a sale on my merch, which starts tonight, which is Thursday, May 14th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. It is 10% off if you use the code LUCKY with 2 Y's. That is LUCKYY. Will get you 10% off of all of my merch. Okay, so now we're gonna get down to business. I am going to be taking you through a bunch of favorite inexpensive makeup of mine. Some of it is brand new stuff. Some of it is tried and true stuff that is still my favorite to this day. So this is a primer from the Abnormal Beauty Company, and this is the HA Blur. It is a hyaluronic based prismatic blurring surface finisher. I kind of forgot about this. I think it got lost at the bottom of my giant bag of primers, and I was like, why haven't I been using this? Because when I use this, my makeup has glided on like a dream. Next, we're going to move on to our foundation, and I'm pretty excited because I don't always have new foundations. This is the Milani Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation. I got it in the shade 140 Nude Ivory, which is too light for me, which is a bummer, but don't worry, we're going to fix it. So I saw Audra at home using this, and it looked gorgeous on her skin. I'm like, okay, you know what? I've been looking for a good drugstore foundation. Let me give this a whirl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that foundation. Now, I know this is not an inexpensive product, but it is going to help this match my skin tone. So these are the Drunk Elephant D-Bronzi Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. And I'm just gonna use like 1 or 2 just to get it to the right shade. All right, perfect. I heard some mixed reviews on this foundation, and I have to be honest, I don't know why, because it really is so beautiful for a drugstore foundation. I was really bummed because I found out that my favorite drugstore foundation of all time, which is the Physicians Formula The Healthy Foundation, has been discontinued. So I was like, all right, I've got to find a replacement. Let me dig in here and see what I can do. And I think this is doing a pretty damn good job of looking flawless. Also, I just have to say, I haven't used it yet with that primer, but that is nailing it to the ground. Wow, I am really, really impressed with that combination. Is that not a flawless finish? Like, what's even happening? Now, of course, I did put those drops in, and I'm not going to stand here and pretend like that didn't affect how this is applying too, because it does add just a teeny tiny bit more dewiness to it, which is also, I mean, I'm not mad about it. I mean, I know this isn't like inexpensive, but like maybe you need to go get some. Anyway, moving on to the other inexpensive products. Taking it back to my Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Concealer. I am in the shade Light 33C. This is still to this day one of my favorite concealers that I have in rotation. And I'm using my BK Beauty 101 contoured foundation brush to apply all these complexion products. And then I'm going over all of that just really quickly with my damp BK Beauty sponge, just to make sure that it's all perfectly blended in, especially in the under eye area. Oh, it's refreshing. Using a drugstore cream blush today. This is the Maybelline Cheek Heat Sheer Gel Cream Blush in the shade Fuchsia Spark. So this is what I think about this product. For me, it's not quite pigmented enough, but I think it's really lovely for someone who's intimidated by using a cream blush and how pigmented a lot of cream blushes are. This is like a really nice sort of subtle gateway drug situation. But I do like the fact that it adds like a little bit more dewiness to my face. I will say, if you're gonna spend the money and get a cream blush, I mean, you could spend like the least amount of money and get this, or you could just spend a little bit more and get the Cloud Paint from Glossier, and it's gonna last you like 3 years or more. So now we're gonna set our face, and I'm going to use my favorite drugstore powder of all time. This is the e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder in the shade Fair Light. I feel like this is a really pretty legitimate dupe for the MAC Next to Nothing powder, which was my absolute favorite powder of all time and is basically nowhere to be found at this point. Going back to head wraps, the other thing I love about head wraps is that they really just make your face the focal point. You know what I mean? Whether you're showing off like a gorgeous face of skincare or you're showing off a fierce makeup look, it just brings your attention right to all of that, and I just love it. Wow, we're really doing some construction today, aren't we? Haven't done any for months, but we're doing it today. Okay, cool, thanks. Like, what are they doing? And it sounds like someone's mowing their lawn. Like, who has a lawn here? What is happening? Okay, now I know I've kind of gone bronzer crazy recently, and I've bought all these fabulous bronzers that I'm really impressed with. I have to say the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer still holds up against those bronzers. I feel like if you want the Kosas bronzer, but you're like, I don't want to lay down that money, this is a great option for you. Although, that being said, it's not the cheapest bronzer in the drugstore. It's not, but it's worth it. And it also smells just very faintly of suntan lotion and coconuts, and I love that. Oh God, it really does just blend so gorgeously. It really is kind of just as good as any of these other bougie ass bronzers I bought. Gorge. Now I'm going to use my Colourpop brow pencil in the shade Bangin Brunette, and I'm very excited to let you know that Colourpop is indeed shipping product once again. They did shut down their shipping for a while, but everything's back to normal. So I feel like this is a really good dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which I love. I use it like almost every single day. That is a little bit more gradual of a product. This I feel like is a little bit more pigmented, which does make it go on quicker, which I'm not mad about either. Both of them have their pros, but like for what you're paying for this is a pretty great brow product in my opinion. So on to another Colourpop product. This is actually my most recent Colourpop product I bought before, you know, everything blew up. This is the Super Shock Shadow in the shade Flying Circus, which I use this in some of my live streams, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's this really thin, silky veil of sparkle. And I know you're thinking, oh, sparkle, I don't know. I'm too old for that. I can't do that. No, you're not, because look at how just very fine this is. It really does go on just like a very silky veil over your eye. And it's just that kind of like fairy dust look. You know what I mean? It's very subtle. Guys, if you haven't tried the damn Super Shock shadows from Colourpop, I literally don't know what you're doing with your life or your choices. They're like butter on your finger, they apply like a damn dream, and they cost pennies. Get on it. So this is a new mascara. Again, very much like foundation. I feel like it's very difficult to delve into new mascaras and find one that I actually think is worth talking about. This is another product that I have been trying out in my live streams, and I love the effect it gives. It really does give like an eye-opening, very separated, lengthened lash look. You can see the wand is a little bit fatty McFatties here, right? So that's the only thing. You have to be a little bit careful when you're using it. You can't just do whatever you want because, you know, you're gonna boop, get it on your lid. Yeah, I love it. I really do. And I have to say that if you're going to name your product Bambi Eye, you better be damn sure it's going to give someone some big ass eyes. But I feel like this really, it lives up to it. Maybe just like a little bit more though. Okay, so this is the Milani Baked Powder Blush in Berry Amore. And I think I heard about this from Kathleen Lights quite some time ago. It's gonna really get in there. It is a blush, but it also has some glow. So you're almost getting like a 2-in-1 situation because you're gonna get that natural highlight from the blush. Yes, it's gorgeous. It's so good. I'm gonna move on to lips, and this is the Colourpop So Juicy Plumping Gloss in the shade Make It Satty. This is like the perfect juicy popsicle lip. And what I wanna say about this product is, oh, damn, that color is so good. Do you remember those Beauty Rush lip glosses that Victoria's Secret used to have? Do they still have them? I don't even know. I used to be obsessed with those, and I used to own like 10 to 15, and they were just everywhere. I loved them. They were a little bit sticky, right? So I feel like the Colourpop So Juicy Plumping glosses are like the better version of the Victoria's Secret Beauty Rush glosses. They have pretty good staying power because I don't feel like they're sticky, but there's just enough tackiness to it, kind of like my Glossier lip gloss, just enough tackiness to it that it sticks around a little bit longer and it doesn't bother me. Also, another product that's just really on the nose with its name and pretty much living up to it because this is juicy AF. Okay, so last but not least, we have highlighter, of course, and this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Blossom Glow. Oh my god, oh my god. I actually don't have any other highlighters, I don't think, that have that really sort of pinky flip to it, and I love it. It just looks so healthy and so youthful. Okay guys, so that is a full face of inexpensive makeup. I hope you saw something that tickled your fancy. I loved almost every single damn thing I used here. The only exception is this Cheek Heat product, which I thought I loved, and now that I used it over the top of foundation, I didn't love it as much. I've used it several times and I actually really like it on just like bare moisturized skin, just to throw some color on and run out the door, but it's just not pigmented enough if I'm doing a makeup look. But what I will say is I do still stand by the fact that I think this is a really nice sort of starter cream blush, and like I said, a really nice cream blush if you just need like a teeny tiny bit of color. But honestly, like any of these other products can have their way with me. I'm into it. What am I gonna cheers? I need to cheers something. Okay, I think it has to be this highlighter because that is poppin'. I love the shade of it. I love that pink flip, and I think it looks just like any sort of like bougie ass highlighter. So Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, good job. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you go ahead and hit that notification bell right beneath this video, that is what is going to alert you anytime I drop a new video. Everything I talked about here today is of course linked down below in the description box. Also, a quick reminder that I am doing my live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please stop by, bring a drink. We're doing fabulous makeup looks, we're chatting, we're having snacks, we're talking about TV and film and pop culture, and what more do you want? And also check out that merch though, on sale for 10% off with the code LUCKY, LUCKYY, at checkout starting tonight, Thursday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. See you guys tomorrow, my happy hour, and cheers till next time.